Over the past week, fantasy football content creators around the world have agreed on a simple but powerful message. Patrick Mahomes is useless and can be taken off the field with no regrets. After Wednesday's trade that sent DeAndre Hopkins to Kansas City, you may be rethinking your best quarterback projections for the rest of the season. There was always a chance Mahomes could get a lifeline at the trade deadline, and it finally happened this week. Kansas City may not be done improving their receiving room just yet. Mahomes couldn't deny the imaginary disappointment given his draft price, but let's not pretend he's still not a real wizard at quarterback. He's been outplayed this year, forcing the ball on a lot of receivers, and yet the Chiefs are 6-0. Whatever you think about Hopkins at this stage of his career, it's clear he's a valuable addition to the KC offense. The team desperately needed a reliable, playmaking receiver who can win on multiple levels and in intense situations. The Chiefs filled that need at a reasonable price. Mahomes' value goes up. Hopkins is, of course, 32 years old and started this season with knee issues and then left with leg soreness late in Week 7, so there are certainly red flags. But his actual separation data is pretty good alongside other big-name receivers, catching over 70% of passes aimed at him from 2 less accurate passers this season. It's hard to say he's completely screwed up. Let's remember that Hopkins caught 75 balls for over 1,000 yards last year in a terrible offensive environment. He's the winner of this contract, but it might be a bit of a stretch to expect him to perform right away against the Raiders on Sunday. Consider him a WR4 of 5 for now. Assuming he's healthy, he's on his way to WR3 status every week in the second half of the season. There's no need to panic about the fantasy potential of the other members of the Chiefs receiver core, because A, it's not like any of them are outstanding anyway, and B, this is just a guess at the potential of the offense as a whole. Xavier Worthy is still a low-volume, high-variance player who's probably useless if he doesn't score touchdowns, and Travis Kelce is still an aging chain mover focused on making the playoffs at full strength. As for Tennessee, well, the quality of quarterback play has eroded everything and everyone thus far. Taking Hopkins out of the game obviously doesn't do any good for fantasy players, and if you're really excited about the extra elusive targets of Calvin Ridley, Tyler Boyd, or Chigu Okonkwo, hopefully you're playing in a league with 16 or more teams.